What's up, y'all? Yes, it's your boy back once again. This is Alex Costa. If you don't know who he is, check him out. I am once again Mr. Cheap Sense. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so at this particular time. And while you're at it, make sure you smash the bell for notifications. That icon will open up above the bell. Hit all so you get any and all content uploaded by this channel. Then like the video, share the video, and be active in the comment section down below. This, just like the other house I just did the video on a few minutes ago, which was the House of Polo, Ralph Lauren Polo to be exact, not that Beverly Hills Polo stuff. Ralph Lauren Polo. This house also doesn't get a lot of spotlight. I also can see why they don't. The house is pretty boring, pretty bland. It's like the run-of-the-mill type fragrance house. Mostly, I noticed the trend while writing the notes down for the 5 fragrances that I have here for this particular house. They all have pretty much the same note breakdown, the same note structure, which I understand what makes a person not want to buy any of these fragrances versus some other house that has a similar note structure but better quality. I can understand that. Now, I will say that this particular house, just like Ralph Lauren Polo, it can be considered to be I don't want to sound offensive, but for people who aren't into niche, indie, or the higher end designer fragrance realm, if you're mid-tier or lower tier, you don't want to spend a lot of money, you don't have a lot of fragrances that smell like these, then yeah, this will work if you can find them for a decent price. Now, I will not purchase, I don't recommend anybody purchasing any of these fragrances I'm about to show you for retail price. I don't think they're personally worth it. I think maybe if you find some of these at discounters or the gray market, then yeah, if you can find them 20 something, $30 mark, maybe 40. I really don't see any of these being $40 worthy. Maybe one, because the bottle presentation is probably the nicest out of all 5 of these in particular. But with that being said, let's get started, y'all. So first off, I think the first one I have from this particular house I'll go with is Gucci Guilty O, which is this fragrance. But this is the fragrance, and you can see I have worn it a couple of times. First time testing, second time I wore it just because I liked it that much. Now, that's an atomizer. I like that. This is a very nice fragrance. I actually like this one a lot. I like it a lot better than the next 3 I'm going to show you. The 5th one, the last one I'm going to go with, may be better, but we'll see. Now, this one I actually got compliments with while wearing this particular fragrance, and I'm right-handed. That's why I'm always blocking the TV. I wore this when I first got it, and I did get compliments. It's nice. It has decent projection. Now, none of these have above average performance. They're like average or just below average in performance. This one, I think I may have gotten like an hour to an hour and a half of projection, maybe about 5 hours of longevity out of this one. And I think I ended up having to reapply throughout the day, about midway through the day. But this is not a bad fragrance. It smells great. It has some sweetness to it. It says it's citrusy. It does have some powdery aspect to it. It's a white floral. It's woody. It has notes of lemon, bergamot, orris, orange blossom, snowberry, patchouli, and musk. Very nice fragrance. I like this. This was released in 2015. It does have like a slight purplish looking juice. I know it's kind of hard to see, but it is like a purplish looking juice. I actually found this one at Marshall's, of all places. And this was kind of expensive for this one in particular. I think this one at the moment was around the $59 mark, so about $60. But luckily I got this at a discount, so it does pay to have connections in certain areas. So yeah, I got a discount on this one. So Gucci Guilty O smells great. Spray it again. Yeah, it's probably out of the next three I'm going to show the best out of those three, with the exception of the last one that I'm going to show. But this is nice, man. This is very nice. I like this one a lot. Very fresh. You do get a little bit of that powder towards the end, like the dry down, but it's not overly powdery like what is it? Burberry Touch. You know how you get that powdery aspect from it? It's not like that. This is nice. This is more of a woody type, fresh, clean type smell. It's very good. I like it. So Gucci Guilty O. Now this one, from what I understood, I think Ashton from Gent Sense talks about this one before. Not a bad atomizer. A lot better than those Ralph Lauren Polo atomizers. This is Gucci Guilty Black, released in 2013, and if I didn't say it before, this was 2015. Gucci Guilty O. Gucci Guilty Black, released in 2013, and it is a green fougere, and it's supposed to be seductive. Has notes of green coriander, lavender, orange flower, neroli, patchouli, and cedar wood. Now this does smell nice. But at the same time, it depends on what you're into as far as fragrances and what kind of scent you're looking for. Now, if you're looking for something a little more on the sweet side, then Gucci Guilty O out of these two would be the better choice. But if you're looking for something a little bit more masculine, it's not different, but it is a nice fragrance. It's not the best. Performance on this one, I would have to say about an hour to an hour and a half projection. About 4 to 4.5 hours of longevity, but these, it's just off of my skin. I can't speak for anybody else. Other people may get better performance out of these fragrances. This is just from my perspective, guys. So don't get it twisted. When I say I'm getting below average performance on something and you're getting above, that's just, not everybody's chemistry is going to be the same when it comes to certain fragrances. So that's what I got out of this. Now, it's not bad, but I can see why people think that most of these fragrances, if not all of these fragrances from the House of Gucci, are Lanier. The only reason why I see a lot of people would buy these fragrances just to have them is because of the name that's associated with the fragrance Gucci. The bottles are not bad looking bottles. For somebody who is a collector that just wants to collect, you know, the House of Gucci fragrances and get the whole line, then yeah, I understand. But for me, these aren't bad. I'm really not into a lot of higher end fragrances, which is why these work for me as far as what I'm into, everyday wear or something you can wear to work, to the office, and not offend anyone. These are right up that alley. So Gucci Guilty Black, not a bad fragrance. Check that out also. Gucci Guilty Intense. Obviously, it is a flanker, and it is just the flanker to Gucci Guilty. They just wanted to amp up everything from the original, and honestly, I don't get it. When you see a fragrance house or company or whatever you want to call it that does an intense version or an extreme or some kind of name that's supposed to mean something is stronger or is gonna resonate better, I don't get that from this. This pretty much is the same exact fragrance as the original. You may get slightly better performance from the Intense than you would the original. But if you have the original, then I don't see a need to get the Intense version unless, like I said before, you're just a fanboy of the fragrance and you just want to collect them. I don't have the original, but I have smelled it before. And being that I didn't have the original, I just went with the Intense. This also came from, I want to say, TJ Maxx, as well as the Gucci Guilty Black. The old version, I think, came from, like I said, Marshall's. But if you can find this in a discount store or a gray market area, Fragrance X, Fragrance Net, for a decent price, and you're into Gucci, or you just want something, different than what you already have, then go for this. Released in 2011. It is said to be aromatic. It's citrusy, white floral, amber, fresh, spicy. It has Amalfi, lemon, coriander, lavender, orange blossom, neroli, patchouli, cedar, and amber. And it is not a bad fragrance whatsoever. I don't remember how much this one was, but I know it wasn't above $29 or $30. Because most of the stuff that I find, it's either on clearance or I get some kind of discount because I know people. But for the most part, it's not a bad fragrance. It's just not something I think is worth running out and trying to purchase at full retail. That's ridiculous to me. It's not worth it. So that is Gucci Guilty Intense. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you all, if you're not paying attention, the similarities to the note breakdowns in all of these, which makes these all seem linear. So this is a newer release, and this one actually was a little expensive, but like I said, I have connections. I'm like Master P. I got the hookup. Holla if you hear me. So this one is Gucci Guilty Cologne, and as you can see, I do still have the box for this one, but not for long. I'm not one who keeps boxes. I know some people get upset when they hear that people throw boxes away and all that kind of stuff. It's just too much to keep around for me. But anyway, Gucci Guilty Cologne is this clear bottle. It's like a light tinted, like, I guess, some kind of greenish hue juice. This is one you can do without. This one, this actually, to me, can lean more feminine than masculine. You do get a lot of powder in this one. It's floral. It does have some woody aspects. It's fresh, spicy. But this one, I think a woman could pull this off. Which is why I think a lot of men may not like this one. This can be overpowering. I just did 2 sprays and it is like sucking the life out of me right now. This one may work in an office setting, but you cannot spray this in your office or in your workplace. This would destroy somebody who has breathing problems or, you know, asthma or anything like that. I wouldn't wear this to work. I think this would even offend people if they were sitting near you in like a movie theater or a restaurant. 1, maybe 2 sprays of this would suffice. Anything above that is too much. I only did 2 sprays just now, and I mean, it is strong. It's powerful. So if you're looking for a fragrance like this that does perform, that has the lasting power, pick this one up. Now, I haven't worn this one yet. I just tested it by spraying it when I first got it, hence why the cellophane isn't on this. This is a powerful fragrance. This is probably the most powerful fragrance that I have right here from the House of Gucci. I don't see a lot of guys liking this one. If they haven't smelled this, I don't think they would like this. Now, it doesn't bother me on the dry down as much as it does in the opening. The opening it's harsh. It's not a bad harsh. It's just strong. It's stringent. You get a lot of powder and a lot of floral coming from this. The dry down is more nicer. If you can get through the opening of this, you would have a pretty decent fragrance. But honestly, I don't recommend this to a lot of guys. Just me personally speaking, I don't think a lot of people, guy-wise, would like this one. If you have an Ulta, Sephora, Belks, Nordstrom's or something, and they sell this, I suggest you test it first before you even think about purchasing this one. Now, like I said, on the dry down, this doesn't bother me. It smells nice. It's going to last. Seems to want to last anyway. A lot longer than the other 3 I just showed you. Even the last one that I'm going to show you. So this is by far the strongest fragrance. Released 2019, which was last year. This one has bergamot, rosemary, juniper, violet, heliotrope, cypress, patchouli leaves, cedar, and white musk. Yeah, it's a decent smelling fragrance. I just think it can lean more feminine than masculine, in my personal opinion. Now, I could be wrong, but that's just what I get from this. If I had to choose out of one of these others versus this one, for guys, I would recommend trying out the other 4 I haven't shown the last one yet, but the other 4 versus this one, I would highly recommend those over this. Now, if you want something, like I said before, that is going to perform, that is going to project like crazy for a while, get this one. I found this one also at, I want to say TJ Maxx. Yeah. And this one was a new release, and it must didn't do too good because it hit discounters quick. I didn't even see an advertisement for this fragrance that I know of. But it was on the expensive side. But like I say, hookups, man. Hookups. So this is Gucci Guilty Cologne Pour On. And last but not least, I did a review on this one also. I wore it not too long ago. This is Gucci Pour On. And this is one of the nicer bottles. I like this. Sorry, Ashton. I like this bottle. Some might say it's not all of that. It's just a square or a rectangle, whatever you want to call it. But it is heavy. If you hit somebody, I mean, you could hit somebody with all of them and probably kill somebody. But this one will really do some damage on the first hit. This thing is super heavy. The top is cheap plastic. It feels like metal. I think it is metal with a plastic lining on the inside. I'm not sure. It kind of feels like it. I think it is. Atomizer is not bad, just like the rest of them. Now this one, I had high hopes for. It smells nice. It just doesn't last long. It's a fairly light fragrance, released in 2008, and I've seen this one in Marshalls, and I think I've seen it in TJ Maxx before, and the price on this one runs you about $50 some odd, if not close to 60. Obviously, I didn't pay that for it, but it is what it is. And I got it. I got in the vehicle. I sprayed it, and I was like, okay. Well, you know. So I did wear it once, and I got okay performance out of it. I didn't get what I thought. Some people, when they saw me post this as my scent of the day, they, you know, commented and said how good of a fragrance this was. It smells great. And I was like, you know, it's a woody type fragrance. Does have some tobacco in it. It's aromatic, balsamic, and it has a little bit of powder to it. It's not like Gucci Guilty cologne, that strong powdery. It just has a light powder aspect to it. This has bergamot, cypress, violet, tobacco leaves, jasmine, patchouli, amber, and elemi incense. This smells like a more sophisticated fragrance, even better than Gucci Guilty Black. This smells more like something more sophisticated, a little more refined. I like this one. Just, you know, I wish it had the strength of this one. But this is not bad. But paying the price that you're going to pay for this and for it to perform how it performed off of my skin, I don't think this is worth paying full retail for. Even at a discounter, I wouldn't pay, you know, 40, maybe 30, 35, but I wouldn't pay any more than 35. It's nice. It's just, you know, I mean, the whole line here that I have out of these 5 fragrances, they're okay. They're not anything to, you know, make anyone want to run out and be like, oh man, Gucci, they got a new fragrance out, I'm gonna go get it. Honestly speaking, if I seen these and I wasn't a fanboy, I would pass. Gucci, to me, just isn't known for a lot of fragrances. Excuse me, I got all these scents in the air. They're more known for like belts, shirts, purses, you know, stuff like that. They're not known for their fragrances, not for men anyway. I think the women's fragrances may be a lot better than the men's fragrances. So a lot of guys out there, if you don't have these and you see them and, you know, they're a decent price, you can give them a try. But for the most part, I wouldn't go out of my way trying to get any of these fragrances, to be honest. They're just not, they're not standout type fragrances. They're not anything that you're going to spray on a tester strip in Belks or whatever and be like, oh wow, that's like, nah. It's not, they're not like it was when I sprayed Andy Warhol from Sensual Obsessions. And if you go back and see that reaction, I was like, oh shoot, like what the, like I had that kind of reaction. I don't get that from these. To go ahead and try to end this video, because we're about 25 minutes in. A lot of these fragrances have the same type notes. Almost all of these fragrances have patchouli in them. Most of them have some kind of woody aspect. All of them pretty much have like lemon or bergamot, some kind of orange, you know, some kind of citrusy type vibe. Most of them are floral. I see white floral, and two of them floral. Like, they all have pretty much the same note structures. So I can see why somebody who isn't a real student of fragrances, who doesn't go in and look at a lot of notes and stuff like that. Like me, I'm not one of those guys, but I just thought it was fitting for me to give you notes on these fragrances in general. If you didn't pay attention and see what the note structures were, a lot of these have the same kind of note structure, just added a different aspect. Like, O has a sweet aspect. One or two of them may have something woody in them, but for the most part, it's a floral type deal, and they change something here or there. But, you know, the house of Gucci for me is pretty linear, just an average scent type of house. Nothing to brag about, just to give you guys a little bit of perspective. So that is my opinion on the house of Gucci. Take it for what it's worth. Run out and get them. I don't care. I'm just letting you know that these are not fragrances that I would go out of my way to try to get. So here is To Smelling Great. I am out. Peace.